If you thought being inside Night City was dangerous, you haven't been outside the city walls. Or maybe you have, and you know how dangerous it is out there in the Badlands. Besides the constant fear of pollution or even acid rain, the biggest threat out here are the bandits, criminals, and outcasts known to the Nomads as Raffen Shiv, with the most violent being the Wraiths. Make sure to sub to the channel for your Cyberpunk info. Now, let's get into these deadly Badland gangsters. Before we jump straight into the worst Badlands gang, we must first dive into why they exist and what a Raffen Shiv is. Raffen Shiv are the most hated nomads. They are renegades, betrayers, and outcasts that have been exiled from the nomad nations. In some cases, an elder from a nation will actually hold a ceremony that banishes the condemned from the community forever, thus becoming a Raffen Shiv. When they are out in the Badlands free of their family bonds, they eventually will find fellow banished and begin preying upon the innocent and the weak in nomad tribes, stealing, killing, or enslaving anyone they can trap. Their culture is what you would expect from others that have been banished from a family-oriented nomad nation. Oppressive. The weaker members of the Raffen are physically abused by the stronger ones, for whatever reason they deem necessary. The weaker ones are also traded about like cattle among the other Raffen, living a perpetual life of abuse. Now that you know what a Raffen Shiv is, who are the most vile and cruel of all of them? These notorious sociopaths go by the Wraiths, a group of 300 to 1,200 members that completely ignore all laws and dominate the surrounding area of Night City by raiding and attacking small groups of nomads and weakly guarded corporate transports at night. The Wraiths are not surprisingly also enlisted by the corporations, since the Wraiths will do any job, no matter how dirty or heinous the job is. But getting to the Wraiths safely is another issue. While the Wraiths are always on the move, their last known locations were the Courtbud Cement Factory and Rocky Ridge. Wandering into these places without any protection is a certified death sentence. Looking at some of the few pictures and videos of the Wraiths, we can see that they are very intimidating. Most members seem to wear a mask of sorts, most likely to help them breathe in the Badlands' awful environment. They definitely have military-graded weaponry and vehicles that are just as deadly. The Wraiths have some serious gear and the looks to go along with it. And that isn't surprising when the leader of the Wraiths is named Dog Killer and is rumored to wear clothes of human skin. That should tell you everything you need to know about how the Wraiths operate. The Wraiths are so dangerous that the other nomad clans will dispatch dog soldiers and war parties to kill them whenever they are spotted in the Badlands. The Wraiths and other Raffen Shiv also cause lots of issues for the peaceful nomads that live in the Badlands, directly and even indirectly. See, many people in Night City never encounter a nomad. To them, they are all indistinguishable. So when word gets out about the raids and the killings, it hurts the nomads who are innocent and gives them a bad reputation, making their lives much harder than they need to be. There is one nomad group in particular that the Wraiths have been at war with for quite some time, the Aldecaldos. The Aldecaldos are the first nomad group that have ever existed. They were created in Los Angeles around Juan Aldecaldos, who was a migrant worker who made a very passionate speech about his son who was killed in a gang shooting. Juan, who mourned the collapse of the United States, reached thousands of people who felt the same, sorrow and loss. During the collapse, Juan led a huge group of people to Mexico City, where they rebuilt the city with other nomad groups, and that is where they became known as the Aldecaldos. The Aldecaldos roamed the Badlands, transporting passengers and merchandise over state borders in large guarded convoys. They also scavenge and hire themselves out as manual farm laborers. The Aldecaldos live a less violent and more honest life, I guess you could say, as their opposites the Wraiths do. I would assume this is what has been causing the war between the two, as info right now between why it's actually happening is very scarce. The war between the two is an issue I cannot wait to address when the game is finally released. The Raffen Shiv, especially the Wraiths, make the Badlands a terrifying place. You never know when someone is going to attack you or kidnap you. If you are brave enough to travel there, make sure you have your weapons. Lots of weapons. Surviving out there is already difficult. Dealing with maniacs just adds a whole other level. Now that you know about the Raffen Shiv and the Wraiths, are you still brave enough to travel into the Badlands? Let me know down below if you'll be out there risking your life. Stick around for some more videos coming up, and remember to sub to the channel for more Cyberpunk info. Also, if you want to chat live, you can find me at Twitch where I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And until next time, remember, always take it to the edge. It's the Cyberpunk way.